from that 17th day of the second month to all the way through the prolonged period of the flood, the decreasing of the waters, until Noah and his family got out of the ark and the animals came out. They were busy. They were busy feeding the animals, taking care of the animals. They were busy with the same task. Isn't that interesting? That it's basically the identical task concerning Noah and his family that Christ gave the disciples in John 21. And the timelines for both converge. Because again, there was night and they didn't catch anything, pointing to the first part of the Great Tribulation wherein virtually no one was saved. Then Jesus gave them direction where to cast their net, and they did, and they had a great catch of fish wherein the net did not break because it was not the net that had broken in an earlier fishing expedition that identified with the church age, but this net identified with the latter rain, and the great catch of fish typified the great multitude that came out of great tribulation. And therefore, when the disciples brought that net full of 153 fish, great fishes, to land, and their fishing expedition had come to a successful close, that represented the end of the Great Tribulation period. Now, here's where that ties in and fits with Noah's flood, because the Great Tribulation period began on May 21, 1988, and continued for 23 years until May 21, 2011. And May 21, 2011 had the underlying Hebrew calendar date of what? Let's test your memory. What was the underlying Hebrew calendar date for May 21, 2011? It was the 17th day of the second month. The very day, if we go to Genesis 7, it says in verse 11, in the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month, the 17th day of the month, the same day were all the fountains of the great deep broken up and the windows of heaven were open. The day the flood began, the day the door to the ark shut, the day that identifies with the end of the Great Tribulation and the completion of the fishing expedition that brought in the great multitude. And what does Jesus tell the disciples as he dines with them and shows himself to them the third time, indicating it is his purpose? And it is his purpose, and so he says it to Peter 3 times, lovest thou me? Yea, Lord, thou knowest I love thee. Feed my sheep. It's even set up in 3 stanzas. The question, lovest thou me? The response, yea, Lord. 3 questions, 3 responses. Then 3 concluding remarks. Feed my sheep. Feed my sheep. Feed my sheep. 3, 3, 3. It's a series of 3s to stress in a powerful way the purpose of God after the tribulation. Once the door is shut, once the door of the ark was shut, Noah, he had no other choice. He had to feed the animals. The people with Noah, his family, they had no other work to do. They didn't have to gather the animals anymore. There was no people to be gathered to be brought onto the ark. Their sole responsibility, their only task was feed them. Feed them. You see how it parallels? You see how it comes together? God is making it crystal clear that once Judgment Day comes, there will be a prolonged period of time. That's what we're seeing here already in Genesis with the account of the flood. There will be a prolonged judgment. For the wicked of the world, they will perish. And for those that are kept alive and remain and go through that judgment for a prolonged period of time, they will be busy, they will be occupied, they will actively be involved with feeding God's elect.